Malnutrition is poor health condition in infants and toddlers caused by a lack or over of nutritional intakes. Babies and toddlers who suffer from malnutrition will experience slowness in development, slowness in thinking, underweight, and so on. The malnutrition problems occur in both developed and developing countries, but the low-income countries struggle with this problem the most.
World Health Organization 2018 said that almost 15 million children under 5 years of age were stunted. Approximately 50 million were wasted, and an estimated 38 million were overweight.
Many factors caused by malnutrition, low birth weight, feeding problems, diarrhea, social factor is low maternal socioeconomic status in Indonesia faces a serious problem of malnutrition, especially in stunting and underweight caused by macronutrient deficiencies. I'm Arden from Indonesia that's still experiencing stunting. According to the 2018 Basic Health Research results, the prevalence of stunting in children under 5 is 13.79%, and the data for malnutrition underweight in children under 5 is 10.19%. Data on the health profile of the special region of Yogyakarta in 2019 shows that there is around 11% of stunted children under 5 years old. If the two data are compared to 2013, the data shows a decrease. So it shows a better improvement in children under 5 in Indonesia. The reduction in the stunting rate in Indonesia can be realized gradually. The Ministry of Health of the Republic of Indonesia has made some efforts to improve mother's milk during the golden age of children, including breastfeeding and providing complementary foods. Complementary feeding starts when breast milk is no longer sufficient to fulfill the baby's energy needs, and the target age is 6 to 24 months. According to the World Health Organization guidelines, the content of complementary foods for every 100 kilocalorie of energy contains at least 45% of energy from fat, 13% from carbohydrates, and 25% of protein. Some previous studies was only focused on the effect of the cooking method on single ingredients such as carrot syrup, snack head fish, Bali beef, katsuo bushi or woody smoked fish, and chicken fillet. Therefore, it is important to research on a complex complementary food to continue challenging good nutrition in children. What are Indonesian moms doing to the quality of complementary foods?
MPASI itu makanan pendamping ASI. Jadi dia itu termasuk dalam tambahan ya. Jadi kalau bayi itu sebelum usia 6 bulan itu full dengan ASI. Nah, setelah di atas 6 bulan itu sudah diberikan tambahan makanan pendamping ASI.
Setahu saya MPASI itu makanan pokok pendamping ASI. Biasanya itu diberikan ketika anak kita usia 6 bulan ke atas.
Dalam persiapkan MPASI itu mulai dari usia 6 bulan sampai 9 bulan itu ada perlakuan khusus. Jadi kalau awalnya itu makanannya yang disaring-saring dulu. Nah, jadi setelah dimasak itu nanti disaring karena tekstur itu mengenalkan tekstur sama si anak gitu ya. Kemudian nanti juga makanan itu bisa mudah dicerna karena di usia segitu dia belum punya gigi, jadi masih butuh untuk disaring. Seringnya kalau untuk anak-anak usia MPASI itu kita mengenalkan dengan jenis yang rebus ataupun yang kukus begitu. Misalnya umbi-umbi yang dikukus begitu ya. Nah, itu mereka mengenal tekstur lembut dan padat ya. Nah, jadi nggak cuma mengenali nasi aja, tapi mengenali sumber karbohidrat dari yang lainnya.
Biasanya saya mempersiapkan MPASI itu dengan cara direbus. Jadi semua bahan yang akan saya kasihkan atau saya sajikan untuk anak saya itu saya rebus semua. Kemudian saya saring dengan menggunakan saringan. Biar apa? Supaya MPASI-nya itu lembut.
Complementary foods could be specially designed as a transitional foods or general family foods and are expected to provide between the daily energy and nutrient requirement of infants and young children and the amount obtained from breastfeeding. The methods that Indonesian people commonly use are boiled and steamed. There are other two methods that can be used, slow cooker and the baby food processor method, which are growing interest. We would like to know which cooking method will maintain the most nutritional value and complex system of complementary foods. For some working mom, preparing complementary foods might be an extra time and effort. Meanwhile, we can serve the complementary foods on the same day as the production or in a different day by storing them first in a container and putting it in the freezer or refrigerator. When it is going to be served, the porridge needs to be reheated. On this video, we will show the ever cooking method of complementary food in chemical, physical, and sensory properties. After researching different cooking methods of complementary foods, we can find out the chemical, physical, and sensory analysis results as follows. From this result, preparing complementary food for babies do not need a sophisticated cookware or equipment. A good nutritional value of complementary foods can be produced using a simple equipment as a steamer that almost every household in Indonesia has. After that, we can be storing the complementary foods in breast milk plastic or glass jar packaging if we will serve another day. So we can conclude that every simple steam cooking method could preserve the most nutritional value of complementary food to fulfill children's nutrition at their golden age. The more often to prepare fresh complementary food is the better. Give your child the best start in life.